Hello, good evening, everyone. Today we'll start special purpose motors. So this is also called as other motors. So in that, first one is universal motor. So what do you mean by the universal motor? The universal motor are the motors it can be used for both AC and DC supply, right? So the construction, working principle and applications of universal motor we are going to discuss. So we can give either AC supply or DC supply. For DC supply, positive, negative. For AC supply, phase and neutral. So the voltage is applied across the terminals of the motor. So the current start flowing through the winding. So here there are two windings are there. So this is the main winding. So also called as a field winding. This is called as main winding, and another one is called as the compensated winding. So compensated windings are placed in the pole shoes of the motor, and rest of the things are like DC motor. It also having a commutator segments. This is the armature windings are connected here, and brushes. So these are the brushes. Okay, so this is the construction of universal motor. So in this case, there are two types. First one is non-compensated type. Second one is compensated type universal motor. So non-compensated type motor usually having a low HP, and compensated motor is used for higher HP rating. High HP rating. Okay. So what is the compensated non-compensated motor? If you use the compensated winding in the universal motor, then it is called as a compensated motor. If you are not using compensated winding, then it is called as a non-compensated universal motor. So how the windings are present here? So look to the figure number 2. So non-compensated type, so only field winding is present or main winding that is connected in series with the armature. Either you can give the AC supply or DC supply across this. This is called as non-compensated type motor. Another one is compensated type motor. So here along with the main field winding, compensated winding is also connected in series with this. Okay, both the windings are connected in series with the armature. So then it is called as compensated type motor. So look into the diagram also, same thing. The field winding is there in series with the armature. Similarly, the compensated winding is also present, that is internally connected in series with the field winding. Okay. So this is the construction of universal motor. So these are having a small capacity series motors which can be operated on DC or single phase AC supply of the same voltage with similar characteristics under it is called as a universal motor. So in non-compensated universal motor, especially two poles, it consists of two number of poles having entire magnetic path. entire having a magnetic path that is laminated. Entire magnetic path is laminated. Okay, and armature is wound type, similar to the normal DC motor. Armature, it is normal DC motor, similar to the normal DC motor. So in compensated type, the motor is having distributed winding, field winding, and consisting of main winding as well as compensated winding. Both windings are present here. In compensated type universal motor has a better speed characteristics comparing with these two. So compensated and non-compensated. So in compensated type universal motor having a better torque speed characteristics. It is the speed torque characteristics, and the speed range is 3000 to 20,000 rpm. So usually these universal motors are high speed motors. So the rpm, that is the speed of the machine, that is very higher compared to the normal DC motor. Okay, and in universal motor, so therefore it will develop unidirectional torque. So it means single directional torque. Unidirectional torque that is obtained in the this universal motor, regardless of whether they are operating in DC or AC. Okay, in both the case it is producing unidirectional torque. And what are the applications of this? Anybody notes where the universal motors are using? So these are the characteristics of non-compensated type and compensated type. Both are similar, but in compared to the compensated, non-compensated, compensated type having a better speed characteristics. It is above the non-compensated type. So in this case, speed characteristics is better more compared to the non-compensated type. And what are the applications of this? Anybody know about the application of universal motor? Bharat? Ishrat John?
Yes, sir.
What are the applications of universal motor? Anybody know about the applications? Where exactly it is using? So these are used in your mixer grinder. In mixer, whatever the motor is there, so that is called as universal motor. So mixer grinder. So this is the one of the application of universal motor, and some domestic applications. Domestic applications like vacuum cleaner, mixer, hair dryer, coffee grinder, electric shavers, it is trimmer, etc., and some blowers, portable tool like drilling machines, and small drives. So these are the applications of universal motor, right? So next one is linear induction motor. Next topic is linear induction motor. In linear induction motor, so this is the diagram for linear induction motor. A linear induction motor which gives a linear motion. So linear motion means it is also called as translational motion. It means linear motion means a direct motion. If it is not a rotating motion, so the motor it will moves in linearly, okay, in straight line. So instead of rotational motion, hence it is called as linear type induction motor. So especially these type of motors are used in magnetic levitation trains, right? That is one of the application of linear induction motor. And also the stator and rotor of induction motor are made as a flat surface. Okay, so this is the rotor part, rotor, and this is the stator part. In stator part, a three-phase supply is given here. So R by B. So what happens? And rotor is made up of aluminum or copper plate. So made it as a flat surface. It is not a rotational surface. Made it as a flat surface. Then it forms a linear induction motor. So synchronous speed that is given by synchronous speed of the motor is given by Vs is equal to 2 times of omega into F. So where Vs is equal to linear synchronous speed, that is in meter per second, and omega is equal to, sorry, W is equal to width of one pole pitch and F is equal to frequency of supply in hertz. This is not omega, this is width W, 2 into W into F. So synchronous speed is independent of number of poles, but it is dependent only on the width of the pole pitch. Only on the width of the pole pitch and supply frequency. So these two are important here. These two are important here. Okay. So as the flux moves linearly, the flux is moving in linear direction. So it drags the rotor plate along with the within the same direction. Okay. So look at the diagram. So this rotor and stator both are we having this, the flux is moving in suppose one direction, the flux is moving in this direction like this, it drags the rotor, so rotor it will drags on the same direction. Okay, however in many practical applications like rotor is stationary, in some cases rotor is stationary, stator is moving. Okay, so while the stator moves, an example high speed trains, that is maglev trains, high speed trains. It works on the principle of magnetic levitation. Okay, this is the magnetic levitation principle. so which utilizes the magnetic levitation, and the rotor is composed of thick aluminum plate. So thick aluminum plate or some copper plates are used, and it is fixed to the ground and extends over the full length of the track. Suppose your track is there, so I will show how the magnetic levitation uh, things are there. I'll show here. Maglev trains. So you may heard these type of trains are in Japan and all those things. So maglev trains. So these trains, depending upon the magnetic levitation effect, so these are working. These are the high speed trains. Look here. So look here. So there is a gap. Gap is present between the track and also train. Okay. So these two are not touch each other. Okay, so in between there is a magnetic flux is there. That flux, it will drags the train in one direction. Okay, so this is the effect of magnetic levitation. So these are used in other countries like China and Japan and all those things. So this linear induction motor principle that is applicable to the high speed trains. So here slip can be calculated by S is equal to Vs minus V divided by Vs, and force F that is given by P2 by Vs, and PCU is equal to S into P2, and PM is equal to 1 minus S into P2. So where P2 is equal to actual power supplied and PM is equal to mechanical power. These are some of the equations related to the linear induction motor, and some of the applications we will discuss about the linear induction motors are. These are some of the applications. One is electric traction. Electric traction, machine tools, that is tool industries, and also used in robotics. Robotics arm movements, positioning, manipulators, operation, and reciprocatory compressors. Compressors. So these are some of the brief applications of linear induction motor. So next topic is AC servo motor, that is used in servo mechanism. So these are AC servo motor. So regarding AC servo motor construction wise, So the most of AC servo motors are of two-phase squirrel cage induction motor. So this is two-phase type motor, two-phase squirrel cage type induction motor, and for a low power application, it can be used for very low power. Cannot use for higher powers. Servo motors are used for low power applications. The output power varies from output power varies from fraction of watts to the few hundred watts. The fraction of watts, so 0.25 watts, like that, to few hundred watts, some 200 watts, etc. So it will be available in the power range of these things, and operating frequency is 50 hertz. This frequency 50 hertz to 400 hertz. This is the variation of the frequency that is available. So construction of AC servo motor. AC servo motor is basically consists of a stator and rotor. So this is the rotor part, and in stator it consists of windings. The stator carries the two different windings here. One is the reference winding, also called as main winding, and another one is called as a control winding. So this is the main winding. The AC supply is given to the main winding. So the voltage is Vm at an angle 0, that is applied here. So another winding is called as a control winding. Control voltage from the servo amplifier. So we have to use some amplifier circuit here. So from that amplifier, this is also called as servo amplifier. So from that we need to give the supply to the control winding. So with an angle of 90 degree. So this is VA at an angle plus 90 degree will take. So therefore the angle between the main winding and control winding, that is equal to 90 degree from the reference. So we will take it as a main winding as a reference winding. Okay, and control winding, it is placed at 90 degree away from the main winding. And the rotor used in the AC servo motor is high resistance type of squirrel cage rotor. So the windings are 90 degree away from each other, and the control voltage is also plus 90 degree out of phase with respect to the voltage reference. Suppose this is the reference, so Vm at an angle 0, and another one is the plus 90 degree, that is Va plus 90 degree. So Va is here at angle 90 degree, Vm is here at angle 0 degree. Okay, so that is Va will produce 90 degree out of phase from the reference winding, and this is necessary to obtain the rotating magnetic field. For to obtain the rotating magnetic field, so we require two phases. Okay, even only one phase is not sufficient in single phase induction motors, so we require two different fluxes or two different voltages. For that, rotating magnetic field will be produced. For that purpose, here the windings are made it into two parts by separating the angle with an angle of 90 degree. So from this, the AC servo motor is going to rotate because of rotating magnetic field is produced. So then rotor starts rotating. To reduce the loading on the amplifier, so what happened? So some of the load is applying on the amplifier because of continuous controlling action. So we can put a parallel capacitor across this. Okay, so tuning capacitor means so it is a variable capacitor. So if we vary the by tuning this capacitor, we can reduce the loading, extra loading on amplifier circuit. Okay, it is on the controlling winding, or we can place the capacitor here parallel across the control winding. Okay, this by varying this, so by varying this, so we can reduce the loading on the amplifier. Okay, this is about AC servo motor. And also the direction of rotation of rotor can be reversed here, so that is possible by the phase difference from the leading or lagging end. If the phase difference is leading or if phase difference is lagging, so by this we can change the rotation, so clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we can change the rotation, direction of the rotation by changing the phase angle. So the phase angle either leading or lagging depending upon this. So we can reverse the rotation, also vice versa, between the control phase voltage and also reference phase voltage. Okay, so which one is leading, depending upon that. Suppose VA is leading, so it will rotating in clockwise. Suppose if we change the VM and VA, both are in vice versa, so we can the rotor is rotating in reverse direction. So the high rotor resistance, the rotor is high resistance, it ensures a negative slope of torque speed characteristics over its operating range, and thereby furnishing the motor with positive damping for a good stability. The torque speed characteristics for the for various control voltages and almost linear, that is shown in this figure. So here this is the torque speed characteristics. So observe here, so VA, for various values of VA is equal to 1 per unit, VA is equal to 75%, that is 0.75 per unit, and VA is equal to 50%, 0.5 per unit. Okay, if you vary the voltage, that is the voltage of the control winding, you can adjust the torque. Okay, if you give the more voltage on the control winding, so we will get the full load torque across. This is the speed characteristics, torque speed characteristics of a AC servo motor. And to reduce the inertia, that is the moment of inertia, a drag cup type rotor also can be used. Okay, it consists of a stator. In between the stator, the rotor part is provided. So this is in the shape of drag cup. In the cup, in the rotor laminated core is present. So this is the shaft of the rotor. So this is the entire, we can call it as a rotor. It is placed in between the stator. So this type of arrangement can be used, construction that is used to reduce the inertia of the servo motor. Okay, so there are two air gaps are present here. This is the one air gap. This is the another air gap. Air gap. The drag cup is made up of non-magnetic material. So that is called as aluminium, especially. Sometimes copper also used, or you can use some alloy of different metals. Okay, so these are the some of the things about AC servo motor, and we'll discuss about some of the applications of AC servo motor. So regarding application, position control system can be used, self balancing recorders, machine tools, so some instruments used in the servo, process control. These are some of the various applications in industries. Okay, not a domestic application. These are some industrial application, process controllers. So usually in robotics, where step angle is needed, there are different types of applications in robotics. Position control system, so exact angle, what particular position the movement is required. In that cases, process control, so very much controlling characteristics is there. So for that controlling purpose, we are using the separate control winding. So we can control the speed, control can be achieved because of control winding. So especially in process controls, these type of motors are used. These are some of the applications of AC servo motor. So next class we will discuss about stepper motor. What are the different kinds of stepper motors? So in stepper motor, there are some classification: variable reluctance stepper motor, permanent magnet stepper motor, and hybrid stepper motor. So we'll discuss what is step angle and all these things in the next class. Okay. Summarizing the today's class. So what we have discussed today. So we have discussed special purpose motors in that universal motor. It can be used for both AC and DC supply. And linear induction motor, it will run in only one direction, that is linearly, that is a straight line. So that is not, it is not a rotating motor. Especially these type of motors are used in the high speed electric trains. And next one is servo motors. AC servo motors are used in the special applications like robotics and all those things. So these are some of the special purpose motor that is discussed. So on the last topic that remains, that is called a stepper motor, we will discuss in the next class. Any doubts regarding these things? Thank you.